Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. We're going to be talking about Sasha Grey, life after porn. We're going to get straight into the video and I'll comment as you go. Because, like I said, I have done a few on porn stars in where they are in life, and it's always an interesting topic to see, obviously, when they can't do it anymore, or can they stop. Let's get straight into the video.
You were kind of one of those people that got really, really famous, but I feel like it didn't change you, which is unusual. Do you feel like I mean, it must have changed you
Right.
somewhat. Like, obviously, you have to become much clearer about setting boundaries, and you have to, like,
Right.
recognize that certain people are after you for certain things, and you have to be aware of that. But
Right.
do you still, like, feel like the same person at all?
Oh, I still feel like the same person. So I was just having this conversation with a friend. Like, I still feel like I'm 18 sometimes, but then I like look back and I'm like, but I've grown and changed so much.
Yeah.
But I
Well, you do. You grow up, you change, and you look at different things in life. I mean, she was quite young when she started it, going into the porn business at the end of the day, and she still looks young for her age at the end of the day. What I think is some people who actually go into porn, I think it mentally affects them, but she seems quite headstrong and mentally strong in what she's talking about and where she's going.
definitely still feel like the same person. I just feel like I'm still learning, I'm still growing and evolving.
Yeah.
But there's always this sort of idea like you can't be nice.
Yeah.
And I understand it because I've definitely been taken advantage of by other people, or I feel like people have tried to use me in certain ways,
Right.
but not to the point where it makes me completely resentful and bitter. Mm-hmm. And I've even had people on shoots tell me like, "You need to be more of a bitch." I'm like, huh? Like, where does that get you? You know what
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. It's not in me.
Right.
And I actually struggle sometimes because I feel like there's times where I should maybe like put that barrier up or
Right.
set that boundary, and
Right.
I'm such an open-minded and like kind of relaxed person that
Right.
it's hard for me, and so I have to kind of remind myself or hype myself up a little bit sometimes to be like, okay, I'm going into this particular situation, like don't let this happen.
Right.
Don't let that happen. So yeah,
Right.
I get it, but
It's
I would say personally for sure it's affected me, but like
Yeah, I agree. I think in that environment, it must be very difficult to keep acting all the time because sometimes you want to be yourself. And I think it must have a lot of pressure on relationships and family life as well. Because, you're going to get maybe a brother or a sister and say, look, what the hell are you doing, or a friend at the end of the day, don't you think you should be doing it at the end of the day? But look, she's made a lot of money from it. If you're happy doing it, if you're secure doing it. But you've got to take the ups with the downs in this business.
not in the way I try not to let it affect me in the way I deal with people or interact with people.
right. You're also fortunate. I'm jealous of you having someone also too, like as like having an agent, having somebody that can kind of be that person who's like, okay, these are, because I talked to your agent before you came on, and I actually liked being able to like talk to her about like boundaries and rules and all that stuff, and not
Yeah.
having to deal with that with you. It
Yeah.
was kind of nice, you
Yeah.
know, because then like you and I can just have a good time, and
Takes
like I
the
know,
pressure off.
yeah, totally, because I don't have an agent, so I have to be that person for myself, and that's can be
yeah.
hard for me because I'm the same way. Like I want to, and I obviously don't have the level of fame that you have whatsoever, but I definitely find myself in situations where I'm nice, and then I totally regret it because this person had, intentions that they did not
Yeah.
reveal to me at the beginning.
Do you think those are like
I think having an agent, especially in the business that Sasha is in, or was in, should I say, you need that to keep you on the straight and narrow. And I suppose Sasha saw it as a bit of a professional business as well, a wage earner in what she was doing. So obviously, when you've got someone who's marketing you, they want the best for you. So I think it's a good thing.
people that you people that you actually know, or more
No,
so
like business people. Like I get the most insane amount of bullshit business, like proposals, especially now since I started the podcast.
I understand.
I bet you do.
Understand.
Like just, first of all, if someone sends me an email and it doesn't have like a signature with like a company name and like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like if it's just like Tom from his iPhone,
Right.
like I'm just not gonna respond at this point.
It's all in the details. It's all in the details. It's true.
Can you like, do any come to mind as of late? Like any bizarre kind of emails or business proposals that you've gotten? Or do you have like one that comes up really often? Like, do people still think that you're in the adult industry and they ask you to shoot or?
I guess not so much like that. Definitely on social media, people do, and these are just regular people thinking that like I go through and read all my messages, which is impossible.
Yeah.
But occasionally I'll open up my direct messages on any platform of social media
And
it's
immediately regret it.
I'm like, okay, delete.
I suppose because she was in the industry a long time, and it is, even when you're out of it, I think it's very, very difficult to not dabble in things or go back into it, or maybe do things privately because you get so many offers for money or being flown out somewhere. It can't be easy because, like I said, she is a beautiful woman and still looks good for her age, and I think she's going to get a lot of offers in business in what she does. And I suppose people think there must be a way of getting her back into it, but if she's finished and she's doing other things, then fair play to her, because I think you're mentally better out of it, especially when you come to a certain age in life and you want to settle down.
Delete.
Yeah.
So, but actually, professionally speaking, I'm trying to think. I can't say anything particularly bizarre. Like sometimes my agent will just forward me stuff and be like, "Look at this one that came in," and we all laugh about it. But
Right.
I feel like I just get, generally speaking, a lot of questions or possible opportunities from Russia.
Huh.
And then nothing ever happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting that it's Russia.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
But they love me, and I love them. They're hilarious.
Have you been to Russia?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been all over.
Yeah. So you're like, you're a lot of things. You're a Renaissance woman. You're a DJ. And actually, is that what you would call yourself? A DJ? Or would you give yourself?
Say like more musician.
Musician,
I'm making
okay.
more music this past year than
Okay.
I am.
I'm really, I'm really ignorant when it comes to the music industry. So like, I don't.
Fair play to her that she found love in music and is doing something productive in her life. Everyone, I don't judge people on whether she wants to be a porn star, as long as she's being safe, as long as she doesn't get hurt. This is life at the end of the day. She's made money out of it. She's obviously very, very successful, and she's obviously turned around and didn't go back to porn, and I respect that at the end of the day. I mean, what she's done in her younger life is her business, but to talk about it, I think is a good thing, because it helps people understand where she's coming from and what she's been through and where her life is now.
Me too. Don't.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, you're a DJ and that means one thing and you do something else. You know what I mean? But like I was telling you before we started the podcast, I looked you up a while ago, just like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. Or maybe you posted a link to something and you were playing a show in, I think it was in Mexico. I think maybe Mexico City.
Yeah.
And it was
it color. Was it indoors or like colors?
It was outside.
Okay.
And it was huge, and the crowd was going insane for you, and I was like, oh my god, like I knew that you'd moved on, I see that you'd like published books, and I knew that you were doing well, but to see like the scale of your fan base just going crazy for your music,
It's amazing how someone can turn their life around like that and find other passions in business, writing books, music, and having a massive fan base behind her. So she's obviously done terrific well. And I think it takes a hardcore mindset to actually do that, because there's a lot of women who and men who get out of the porn business and they're very, very bitter, fucked up people. So I'm glad she's is an inspiration, to be honest, in herself, and you can tell that she's internally happy, in the inside and the outside as well.
I have to admit, I was really happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, this is so great. This is, because we talk a lot in adult. I always say that like adults, like the black hole, it's like you have to move faster than the speed of light to get out. Otherwise, the force of gravity just pulls you back in. And you like got out, like, and that is something. It's not a success story for everybody, and a lot of people have tried. So, first of all, it's really impressive, your career. Do you know, like, could you say maybe why you feel like you've been able to transcend that, or is it a mystery to you too?
I mean, partly it's a mystery, obviously, because I set out with goals of what I wanted to do, and I thought I would be in the industry a long time.
Yeah,
like for me, it was a life.
Right.
That's how I thought of it, and that's how I imagined it and planned it.
It's interesting because I think a lot of people in the porn business think like that. Will they ever get out of it? Or if work runs dry, what do I do? Where do I go? So I think you have to look at other things that you can do, whether it's acting, writing book, or music, or being a DJ. I think with Sasha, I think she's not afraid of saying, look, I'm going to leave that behind and go forward, and I'm going to make a go of it. And I think that you have to have a strong mind to do that. So fair play.
But I think when I try to reflect on it, I think one of the biggest things is that I was always doing something else. So I always had other interests. It wasn't the one thing that I relied on.
Right.
Maybe economically for a while in the beginning, but I was always doing other things. I was always writing, and I developed sort of this special relationship with my fans early on. Something that like and I said this a long time ago. I remember saying this a long time ago. I know I can't sustain that forever, meaning you can't sustain that like sort of intimate online relationship with fans, whatever that means and whatever that is.
Right.
But I really did. I spent a lot of time like answering fan mail on social media and writing blogs and doing all of these things where I was very interactive with my fan base.
If you want to get into podcasting, forget.
So I think the point is, in this reaction video, is that Sasha had other interests. She turned her life around, and she's happy and extremely confident in where she's going, and has obviously a good fan base. And that's beautiful to see, when you see people not hating on what they did before, because you have to embrace what you do and where you go in life. Yes, she was in the porn business, and maybe it excited her. Maybe, like I said, she was young at the time, saw a lot of money in it at the end of the day, like a lot of people do in this. But later on in life, she found her love, her passion in what she wanted to do. So fair play to Sasha Grey, and good luck with your future businesses as well, and happiness. So don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and support the channel. Thank you, and thank you for the old subscribers and the new subscribers too, and hope you enjoy the video.